Bees moved into this cable tower. This is a common place for the bees. You can see them there at the entrance. And they like these kind of towers. They like water meter holes. They like all kinds of stuff that are just about the size of a shoebox. We popped off the tower, and of course, there's the comb all built around the wires. So that took quite a lot of pulling wires apart and kind of trying to pull the comb out. Certainly a big mess. Definitely a big mess for the cable tech that has to come out and try and fix this. When we're done with a situation like that, we have let the homeowner call the cable company and have them come out and see if they have to replace wires. Because bees pull out the humidity of the nectar with their wings, they're dehumidifying it, but the moisture kind of builds up a little bit in there and things can get a little wet. There was a piece of honeycomb we pulled out. Really, this hive was just a matter of scraping all this wax and honeycomb and trying to get it off these wires. And as you can see, the bees moved to the other side. We were working on the one side, and the bees, of course, moved to the other side. So we just continue trying to pull out pieces of comb. So this tower goes down about 18 inches into the ground. So there's another 18 inches of comb that we're trying to pull out of here so that we can then start to grab the bees. So we're putting it into a box. This homeowner had chickens, so we left some of this comb for their chickens. It's great feed for the chickens. So just keep digging out comb. We try to scoop some of the bees into the box. We put a few pieces of comb that had honey into the box, all trying to sort of lure them into their new home. And you can see we're just pulling out pieces of comb, pulling out pieces of comb. Matt's working on one side and I'm working on the other. This was really new comb. This hive, this colony had only been here probably about a year, this spring, summer. So they didn't have a ton of comb, a ton of brood comb, or a ton of honey in there. It was relatively small. There's one of our specialized tools there. So now we're going to try and get the bees into the box. This brush is very soft. The bees have a hard exoskeleton, so it doesn't bother them, but as you can see, it's really not super effective. They're not brushing in there very well. They're just kind of flying away and flying back into the box. All these wires are really difficult to kind of get the bees out of. So Matt's still trying to pull out some comb, and we're going to start vacuuming these bees. Our main goal was really to just try to grab the queen and get her into the box, and then the bees will follow. So Matt's smoking the column really just to get the bees out from behind the wire. We're using the smoke. It's cool smoke. It's not hot. We're really just using it to kind of drive the bees in the direction we want them to go, get them away from the wires so we can easily vacuum them. The vacuum is a custom-made vacuum, and it doesn't hurt the bees. And as you can see, we're really just kind of scooping them up and shaking them into the vacuum just to get them in the box. And so we just keep smoking and vacuuming and trying to capture as many of the bees as we can. They like to beard up there on that rock beside the tower, so we vacuum that. We just kind of catch any little clumps that we can with the vacuum. And this is an essential oil that we're spraying in there. It's a custom blend, and it doesn't hurt the bees. It's just a smell that they don't like. And so when we put it in there, it drives them up from the bottom. And we can kind of put it behind the wires and keep them from going back in there. No pesticide, just essential oils. We've added our extension so we can get way down there in the bottom. There's gravel in the bottom of this cable tower. So we just keep vacuuming them, get them off the rocks. And now we're going to dump our vacuum. This is a custom-made vacuum that we've put together. It doesn't hurt the bees. We have chicken wire in there for them to hang on to. So we dump them into the box. We're pretty sure we have the queen. We could tell by the way the bees were acting. And they're all going into the box. No one's flying away. So while we haven't actually seen her, we're sure she's in there. And as you can tell, the bees are all congregating on the box. They're not going anywhere. So we're going to move this box next to the tower, and we're going to leave it until dark. So all the bees will go into the box. And then we'll just come pick it up at night. And when we got back, we realized there were still a few bees left in the tower. So for the customer, we wanted to go in there and just make sure we got all the bees, but the rest are in the box.